Hello, this is Roland. I want to talk about a serious topic today. All my programs are serious, but mostly they're lighthearted. Today it's hard to be lighthearted because I see that scary things are descending upon us. Scary things in the world, scary things in the United States. And so you need to be prepared. Um, and as far as emotionally and spiritually, I know that you must meditate. You must meditate in a proper way. There are many meditations in the world. Most of them are palliative care. You know what that is. Feel good. Most of them encourage getting lost in the imagination, um, thinking of pretty pictures, and it's kind of like escapism. That's not what you need. Um, there's a special meditation that that has God's blessing upon it, and it's very simple. It's basically to get out of your thinking, become still, and be a bit closer to God. See how simple that is? But we don't know how. We have a hard time getting started because we're so used to being lost in our thinking. From the time we were little children, we were taught to look to thinking for answers, or to look to outside experts to give us pre-digested things to memorize and put into our brain and then dig them up at certain times. But you know that doesn't work. You know, in those delicate moments when you reach for something canned, something pre-planned, it doesn't work. The timing is off. It falls flat. And so what you need is to to find a way to be aware. See, awareness is where God is. See, the great reality, the great world that you see around you, the universe, God created it. And that's reality. Now we humans, we have been disobedient. See, we have rebelled against God. To do our own thing, to thumb our nose at God, to play God. Isn't that what egos do? We like to go around and judge other people and plan and scheme, and we want to make things happen, and then we want to be admired for what we made happen. See, we play God. That's how we come in conflict with God. In fact, that's how you can know that there is a God, because when you feel conflict with Him by playing God. Okay? But the point is that there's not a lot of time left. To say, well, someday I'll learn to meditate, someday I'll get close, find my spiritual roots and so on. Well, someday is today. Someday is now. You want to be prepared, see, so that when awful things happen, you won't freak out. What I began to say earlier is you need to find a way to be aware without freaking out at what you see. That's why you need to practice a proper meditation. See, what the proper meditation does is it makes you aware. It makes you mindful. See, mindfulness meditations are close. The mindfulness meditations are very close, but something's missing. What is it? It's God. So what you need is to learn how to become still so that you have access to your intuition, what you know in your heart is right. So there you are. You're in reality. The birds are singing. See, you're not lost in thinking. But you're also waiting. See? Intuitive guidance. See? Which is what you know in your heart. Now, when you were a little child, you knew in your heart what was right, didn't you? If you were mean to if you got angry at your mommy, you felt bad. If you told a lie, you felt bad. See? If you saw somebody that was being mean, you knew they were being mean. See? You had your intuition. Well, that's from God. So all you need to do is to refine that intuition. There's nothing far out or weird about it. See? It's very simple. All you're doing is refining what you had when you were a little child. That's what the meditation will help you do. So then when bad things happen, you won't be upset because you will see them in the light of reality. See what I mean? So, it's magic. It is sheer magic. Everything that God does is magic. How does a butterfly know how to be a butterfly? And how does a flower know how to open? How does a tree know how to grow? How does an apple tree know how to make apples? It's magic. Sheer magic. Okay? And so the meditation is also magic. It works. How does it work? I don't know, but it works. See, I mean, I can explain it. That's what I do. That's what I've written all my books and all the years on the radio. I mean, I can talk about it very well, but it's still magic. Okay? So that's what you need. You need that little bit of magic. And then you'll be ready when things start to happen. You won't freak out. That's what you don't want to do. See, when people freak out, what happens? When people freak out, then they escape. Escape into imagination. Escape into thinking. Into worry. It's not very fun to be down, lost in worry. That's where people go. Or they take drugs, alcohol. Escape, escape, escape. Or they escape into sports or something. See, sports can't save you. Maybe they go to church, but the problem is, or they go to some religious service or something, but the problem is it's pretty music, it's nice words, but pretty music is not going to save you. Nice words can't save you. The preacher can't save you. Even I can't save you. See, you need God, but you don't know how to find Him. You're like the Wizard of Oz. Remember Dorothy? She went off on this big adventure, and finally she just wanted to go back home again to Aunt Em and to be back in Kansas. See, a lot of you sense you just need to go back home again. But home is right where you're at. Home is stepping over the line, stepping back to what you had when you were a little child. See, it's coming back to conscience, coming back to intuition, coming back to when you were a little child. Remember when you were a little child, maybe you were sitting in the back seat of the car, driving somewhere. Mommy and Daddy were going somewhere, and you were in the car, and you looked out the window and you saw houses and trees and people and buildings and cars and trains and many wonderful things out there. It was all quite amazing to see all these things, and you just sat there and you observed. And then Mommy and Daddy were talking about something, and Daddy said something, and Mommy said something, and Daddy said something, back and forth, and you watched. See, you just kind of quietly observed. You were in your own little world, but you were in reality. Okay? That's what you need to find again. Okay? Now, the things that happen all around us, the scary things, there are reasons how we got into the mess that we're in, and there's a happy ending to it all. There's a happy ending. So, don't try to figure it all out. Just know that there's a mighty hand. God's mighty hand is in charge of history, of history and of the world. And all you need to do is get centered and observe things like when you were a little child. See? And the magic, the, the magic will take over. I can say no more. Except I can tell you, well, I'll show you on the screen. You'll see where to get the meditation. I've made it free. It's very simple. It's like 5 minutes long. And that's all you need. That's all you need. See? That helps you step back to being close to God, back to being centered. See? And in that state, that's where you are. You have a protection in that state. You have insight. You have intuition to guide you. So you'll know what to do and where to go and things like that eventually. But at this point, we don't need. See, there's too much. I can't possibly tell you, and I can't tell you in the moment when you have to need to know what to do. I can't tell you what to do. But you'll know if you meditate properly. You'll know. You'll just intuitively know. Okay? So, please, I encourage you to start meditating. 5 minutes in the morning, maybe 5 minutes at noontime, 5 minutes in the evening. That's all you need to do. Okay? So I'm not going to tell you about any of my books, anything else. All I'm going to say is watch the screen, see where to go for the meditation, and give it a try, get started, and then do it. And you'll be on your way.